This is me, Dick Strawbridge, my wife Angel, and our 2 children in our glorious French chateau. We haven't ever regretted what we've done. It is so worth it. We moved here 3 years ago to follow our dream of living life in our very own castle.
Oh my God!
But it's not been easy.
Oh, baby, oh, you're so strong.
As dozens of other Brits know only too well.
Oops. Floor needs replacing as well.
Because it turns out we're not the only expats who have bought a French chateau.
Wow, absolutely love it.
25-year-old Bordeaux.
Motherload!
In this series, we'll reveal how we're running our chateau as a business.
There's not a thing about making sausages that I don't find humorous.
I'm still finding things that I haven't seen.
Oh, yeah,
And see how these daring Brits are running theirs.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This place is done up.
As they face the ups
Really beautiful.
This is a rare moment, but I am genuinely at peace.
and downs
It's a lot worse than it looks.
of their new lives in these crumbling and magnificent buildings.
It is a bit of a fantasy, living in a French chateau.
We might have a few problems on the way, but that's part of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today, a trio of chateau rookies are trying to fix one of their chimneys.
I'm not sure the smoke is supposed to come out of the sides of the chimney.
Without much success.
They managed to get through into the chimney breast, but it's the wrong one.
The owners of this luxury chateau hotel need to win over the locals.
Lots of anti-us in the press. We had protesters, all sorts.
But their efforts to drum up much-needed new business don't go to plan.
Only 8 people here. There's more suppliers and more staff than there are customers.
And at our fairy tale chateau, I get down and dirty building an outdoor toilet.
I think I'm a bit too old for this.
In northwest France, some young 20-something chateau owners are at the very start of their journey. This is Chateau de la Baminière. Built in the 18th century, this beauty has 6 floors and 40 rooms, 22 of them bedrooms, set in more than 60 acres of park and woodland. The lord and lady of this manor, 25-year-old Gwendolyn from France, and her 28-year-old fiancé, Billy, originally from London.
I moved over here about 6 years ago. My parents were already living here, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a try, you know. And I did a bit of work and that. And when we met, it all changed, didn't it? Yeah. It is a bit of a fantasy, yeah. Living in a French chateau is always been a bit of a dream.
That dream has brought them here to the Pays de la Loire region. And Billy's older brother Michael moved in too. The 3 of them have big plans for the castle.
We want to have bedrooms in the chateau for B&B and have people hosting weddings or seminars here.
But that dream is a long way off, because none of them have done anything like this before. And they've got a hell of a lot of work to do. The place has no electrics, no hot water, leaking walls and ceilings, and 90 rotten windows that need replacing.
We basically decided to do most of the works ourselves, you know. We've got our own skills and stuff, so together I think we can make it work.
I've got to admire their confidence. Until they're up and running, the young couple and Michael are living in the only habitable building on the estate, the guest house that used to be the servants' quarters.
Everyone keeps saying to us, oh, you're living the chateau life and all, but not really at the moment. It's more like domestic of a chateau life, or with like the, how did you call them in Downton Abbey, the servants or whatever. That's what we are like.
The reason why we're not living in the chateau at the moment is because basically it's uninhabitable, because there's no bedrooms ready, there's no electrics in some of the rooms, there's no heating, there's no running water. It's, well, the list is endless really, so we can't really move in just yet.
Well, they did only just get the keys to this place 4 weeks ago. Bought for a pretty hefty €1,050,000 with money inherited by Gwendolyn.
I lost my mum almost 2 years ago now, and she left me a bit of inheritance. I thought it would be nice to make a good life for us to prepare the future, because she left me something, so I think we should use it to leave something to our children one day. I know she would have liked this place.
They've barely settled in, but they're not wasting time when it comes to getting the business started. In just 3 weeks' time, their first customers, a party of 14, are due to arrive for a weekend break at the guest house.
It is important to get ready because this is our first lot of guests, and this is the first really income that we're going to have since we moved here. And we do need to get money in order to live and keep restoring the chateau. I'm a bit stressed and anxious. The boys have a lot to do. They need to get on with it and work from dawn to the end of the day, every day.
One of the most immediate jobs for Billy and Michael is getting the chateau a working kitchen.
We're on a bit of a tight schedule because the kitchen bloke's coming in a week.
Today, they're putting up the covings.
It smells like a dirty old kipper. There's a sort of sense of satisfaction, isn't there, Michael, when you do the work yourself?
You know, after a while, you've got all of these skills that you didn't have before.
The window's full. One window's done.
Yeah, one window's done.
Yeah.
We've still got to do second coats on all of the wood, blue woodwork.
How long is that going to take?
Oh, give us a bit of time.
But for Gwendolyn, there's something even more important than sorting out the kitchen before they can move in.
I'm freezing. It is freezing in here.
Like a lot of these old chateaux, the main heating system is run on heating oil. For the past month, they've only had it on for a couple of hours each day to help dry out some of the damp. But that's cost £600 in oil.
What was the level when we had it filled up?
It was right at the top here.
All right.
That was about 2,000 litres and it's gone down, well...
More than half?
More than half.
In a month?
In a month, so we've really got to get it, you know, find another way for heating the place.
How much is that in a month?
That's quite a lot of money, €700.
Yeah. Well, we can't keep going like that, Billy.
No.
Yeah, we need to find another way to heat the house.
If they were to have it on full time, I reckon that the monthly bill could easily double to well over £1,000.
At the moment, money's a bit tight because all the work that's going on, so we need to do something else.
But there's something in the basement that could be the answer to their problem.
So why can't we use that? It uses wood, right?
Yeah.
The question is there life in the old wood burner yet?
We can't just spend €1,500 each month on heating. It's like impossible. We couldn't afford that. We'd be out of here in 3 months. So yeah, we need that to work. We really do.
One thing we've learned about running a chateau is it's all about clever shortcuts and cost-saving plans. At our place in the Pays de la Loire, we host weddings in our orangery. But it's a 400-metre round trip to the nearest loo in the chateau. The challenge, to save our guests a long walk for a wee. I think I'm a bit too old for this. A task that's made even trickier when there's no mains water nearby. There's going to be a compost loo and a urinal here. I want to go down probably 2 feet. I knew all that trench digging in my old army days would come in handy. But this isn't any old hole in the ground. Human beings are retromingent, which means when we sit down, we pee forward. So I have to go to a splash plate to capture the urine and take it off to the side, because I do not want the hole full of poo to be wet. Yeah, and that's very important. This stops the two things you definitely don't want in an outdoor loo: odour and attracting flies. When I was training to go to Sandhurst, 78, I wanted to go and join a gym and work out, do all sorts of gymmy stuff, become muscle-bound. And my old man said to me, "No, Richard, all you're going to do is dig the garden." So I dug the garden for a summer and got quite ripped. So, never mind fancy gyms. Build a compost loo. Muscles tested and trench dug. Next, the hole needs to be lined and shored up at the sides. What I want to do is just stop anything getting into what is going to be my compost pit, and that includes the rats, so I'm going to be putting chicken wire in there to stop anything getting through, but I'm just shuttering the edges, basically, and putting wood against it so nothing falls in on it. We may be talking peeing in the woods, but we still need some privacy. This is like a mobile home. I got the grunt, you got the finesse. We're in. Look at that. It's ridiculous, isn't it? The more ridiculous, the better. Fit for a king or queen, or bride and groom, and ready for its throne. Well, this loo seat is made for a conventional toilet. And if you look at it from the side, see those gaps that we have to let the air in? We're going to get rid of those. I'm going to take these bits of plastic off, screw this all the way down. I'm going to seal around this with a little bit of foam. And so when this shuts down, there are no air gaps. And the reason we have that is we don't want flies coming in and going in and out of this place. This is to be a fly-free zone. Right. So that's the sit-down element of the loo. Over to Angel, her dad, and the kids.
Which one do you like?
I like that one.
To bag a urinal at the reclamation yard.
Aha! Mummy's found what Daddy's sent us to find. Look, this is the one. Dick sent me down today to look for a urinal. Oh, the glamour, I know. But we saw this a year and a half ago. I said we should have bought it then. But, you know, we didn't really quite have a place for it. So I'm so glad it's here today. C'est combien pour the urinal, Misfire?
Le prix, il est à 100 €.
100 €, oui. I think that's 100, isn't it?
Il est nickel, hein. C'est pour ça que je le mets.
What's 80 €? I wish I spoke French. I remember last year it was 80 €. No?
C'était 80.
Oui. Huh?
Correct.
Ah.
Well, if you want 80.
Super, come on.
In the heart of the world-famous wine region of Burgundy, 25 miles west of Dijon, lies the 900-year-old Abbaye de la Bouziers, a home and place of worship for monks since the Middle Ages. But these days, it's a luxury hotel run by English couple Clive and Tanith Cummings.
And once we saw it, we're like, wow, what a place this could make.
It's a thing of beauty. 20 luxury bedrooms, plus a Michelin-starred restaurant in the Abbey's former cloister.
We have real ups and downs, but, you know, we're still here.
Even though a one-night stay in this place will set you back around £200, and a meal for two, £170, Clive and Tanith aren't pulling in enough pennies.
We've had a couple of years where we've made a little bit of profit, but it's still very much a work in progress.
This year, they're desperate to develop the business and bring in more income. And there's one market they haven't yet tapped into. But there's a problem.
A lot of the local perception is that this is a Michelin star posh property. And when we first came, the Abbey was open to the public, and Les Anglais arrived, and we shut the place down, and they got upset. They thought we were creating a paradise for playboys, and we said, look, we're just making it a nice hotel. And we had a massive boycott. Lots of anti-us in the press. We had protesters, all sorts.
So today, Clive's organised an open day designed specifically to woo the locals and make a bit of money with a €5 entrance fee.
We're hoping for 300, 400. You just don't know. It could be a complete and utter disaster, and we only have 50 or 60 people. If that's the case, we've got a lot of wine and cheese to eat.
Clive's invited dozens of regional food and wine suppliers who'll be setting up stalls on his lawn to showcase their wares.
They're a bit precariously balanced.
Everything's set up, everyone is ready. But the success of Clive's event relies on two things he can't really control: a decent number of guests turning up and decent weather.
Every time I put these out, it rains. So we shall see what happens.
For us, running a chateau business is all about making your guests comfortable. Even if that means building a toilet from scratch using a garden shed.
The ergonomics of pooping in the woods. With 20 years in the military, you spend an awful lot of time finding a comfy place to poop. This is just so luxurious, it's not even worth thinking about.
Okay, it's just a regular shed, so the floor needs to be adapted to fit over the poo pit. And a frame built for the seat.
Gorgeous.
Oh, it's proper, like, enchanted forest.
It's proper toilet.
Tea, isn't it? I love it.
Right, this is the loo capability.
Yeah.
Here, on this side, is going to be a urinal capability.
Right.
Okay.
Is that going to have any sort of, like, privacy?
Yeah. Picture a urinal there, picture the wall. It's got to be tall enough so no man's head can be seen, yeah?
Okay.
So here, so they come through here, pee here, and the urine, wee, comes around here.
Stuff from the compost loo go in there as
The
well?
pee from the compost loo goes here as well.
Right.
This is the sit-down loo.
Yeah. And kind of washing the hands, we're just going to have a...
All that, sanitising stuff we've got.
Yeah,
We'll just put a little
okay.
shelf in there with a sanitizer and things
All
in
right,
there,
then. Yeah.
I'm going to continue making
All right, baby.
She didn't ask for it to move. That's a tick. Which is not too bad.
With four-woman Angel happy, time to finish this bad boy.
That's good.
Urinal installation and a seat in the cubicle.
It's nice.
Voila, all ready for our wedding guests. And better than any camping loo, if I do say so myself. Just 30 miles away from our place, engaged couple Billy and Gwendolyn and Billy's brother Michael are just 4 weeks into the start of their chateau journey and are learning that there's a ton of work ahead of them. They're desperate to get a disused wood burner up and running to save cash. But they've no idea when it was last fired up.
There's a receipt here from 1988. And it was just nettoyage, rouleur, which is just a service, a routine service. A bit of very old kit if it was, if I found a receipt from 1988. That was the year I was born, so very interesting.
It's still nearly 30 years younger than me, and I'm going strong.
We don't know if it's going to run all right or if it's even going to heat the house.
Are you sure it's not going to make everything explode?
It's connected to one of the chateau's 11 chimneys.
If we're going to switch on this wood burner, we need to make sure the chimneys are cleared. If there's any blockage in there or anything, it could be a fire hazard.
So Gwendolyn's called in a couple of local chimney sweeps who've agreed to do the job for just 60 euros. Starting from the roof, the men begin by checking for blockages. And after an hour, they find an obstruction about halfway down the 25-metre tall chimney.
The chimney's so badly blocked that they're obviously from the top or the bottom, they can't get the blockage out.
There's no choice but to try and get to the blockage through the wall.
Well, they've been trying to bash their way through this chimney breast for about 15, 20 minutes. And, well, at least you know the house is strong.
That's one way to look at it. French chateaux tend to have very thick, solid walls. These are about a foot deep.
The thing is, the chimney breast is solid granite, so, you know, it's not easy to knock through.
After almost an hour, the men are finally through. But there's no sign of a blockage. Please don't tell me they've done what I think they've done.
They managed to get through into the chimney breast, but it's the wrong one.
That's what you get for 60 euros.
There's two chimney breasts side by side, and the blockage is in the other one. So now what they've got to do is they've got to knock through into the other chimney breast.
A quick recalculation, and it's time for take two. After another half hour, and a lot of mess, the men are through again.
Yeah, they've got the right hole this time.
And the mystery of the blockage is revealed. A 30-year build-up of old pigeons' nests. With the chimney now cleared, they can start up the old wood burner. But will the ancient piece of kit work? Or will their dreams of saving pennies go up in smoke? Back in the Burgundy region of eastern France, Clive and Tanith need to bring in more money to their luxury Chateau hotel. Their plan? To get more locals through the door. So Clive's throwing an open day to try and tempt them. He was worried the weather could make it a washout, but it's the turnout, or lack of, that's the problem.
2:20, and only 8 people here. So let's see. There's more suppliers and more staff than there are customers. But the afternoon is young. They're all probably having their lunch still. This is France. Lunch is very important.
Whilst Clive keeps his fingers crossed for some more guests and no rain, inside, hotel life is carrying on as normal. Tonight, Tanith has got 8 new reservations at the hotel, all expecting that luxury experience.
Every little detail is quite important, really, so you just need to be aware of everything. So the cushions from the window, from where you've left the remote control to the pad and pen by the tables. We get all our laundry from England, and we also use really good quality towels. They've got to be fluffy, you know, they've got to be big and fluffy towels. This one's good to go, I think. Just needs some water, but everything else is ready.
The flood of local visitors armed with wads of cash hasn't arrived.
Bonjour. Combien? Beaucoup? Combien c'est beaucoup?
Déjà
20? 20 people so far. So just another 450.
The other 450 or so guests must be just around the corner.
Empty road. I want to see a whole line of cars snaking up with lots of people in it. And then I'll be happy. Here we go, hopefully. Vous avez une voiture? Allez. Oui, non. Bonjour. She didn't smile, did she?
But today's not just about selling the hotel to the locals. The world-renowned British sculptor Paul Day lives just a few miles away.
Look at this guy.
And Clive's invited him over to set up a stall selling signed copies of his new book.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Clive and Tanith have several of Paul's sculptures in the Abbey grounds, including these 3 life-sized bronze bulls. They've been on loan here for a year, and tomorrow, Paul's taking them back.
These are going to be moved to an exhibition I'm having in Beaune, our local town. I think they look perfect here, and I'm actually surprised that Mr. Cummings hasn't made me an offer on them, but I know how tight he is. You know, so frankly, I don't hold down much hope there.
It's now an hour into the event, and to Clive's relief, there's finally a steady stream of guests making their way into the grounds for the Abbey's big day.
I'd say there's a couple of hundred people here now, so very pleased with that. Let's hope we have another 200 or 300 coming through the door. We'll see. Another 2 coming in. Yeah. Lots of local faces, which is really nice. And they see the transformation of the building. They see the investment that we've put in. And as I say to them, it's the paying customer like them are the people that help me to continue with the renovation work. And so they're very pleased that they see it being spent on this and not on fast cars.
It looks like Clive's weather prediction has come true.
I said my red cushions were an invitation for it to rain, and it took 3 hours. It's fantastic. Il pleut quand the vache qui pisse. In French, that means it's raining like cows weep.
But luckily, Mother Nature has intervened at the perfect moment.
Just as we want people to go home, it's hailing.
Perfect.
And so, no, we've had a perfect day.
The weather held out long enough for everyone to enjoy the chateau and make some money in the process.
I think the receipt on the gate is 450 people, and our winemakers have sold their wine, our cheese lady sold her cheese, the flower lady sold some flowers. Everyone's happy, so
yeah, good
very
day,
happy,
good day.
very pleased.
Now they just have to wait and see if their efforts will bring in more locals and more euros. Some 240 miles west, in the heart of the Loire Valley, sits Chateau de Bois-Jorot, built in 1850 by an Englishman. Now it's a grand self-catering rental, with 9 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms, 20 acres of parkland and a pool. And it's still got English owners. 3 sisters, Catherine, Marion and Tanya. The business is run from the comfort of the UK by community worker Tanya, who lives near Oxford.
Morning. I'll set the kettle on. Who do you fancy, Mr. Happy today?
And younger sister, teaching assistant Marion, who lives with her family near Reading.
It's your turn for brushing your teeth.
I'll tell you what we do is pancakes.
Yeah, I'm off.
All right, see you later. Have a good day.
The sister's mum, Cleone, lives a few miles up the road from Tanya.
And I've lost the bucket already.
The chateau used to belong to her ex-husband, the girl's dad.
Bucket.
He didn't want the responsibility anymore, so he gave it to his daughters.
So they were left with a chateau, which is a bit of a double-edged sword because there are maintenance costs. They don't live there all the time. They don't speak French, and they've worked very hard to get it off the ground, and they're making a success of it. I'm actually very proud of them, although I don't usually let them know that.
I've also got to meet up with Marion at some point this week, go through chateau stuff, see where we are.
As the saying goes, with a great chateau comes great responsibility. And the sisters find it hard work maintaining and managing this magnificent 19th century castle.
It is very stressful trying to manage my job and the chateau and just general family life, parents, you know, everything that brings. Trying to actually squeeze them into life in general is quite hard.
We probably get about 10 rentals a year, through from May, June, July, August,
those are
maybe
our
September.
main ones,
yeah.
I wouldn't say it's profitable, but it covers its costs, which is what we needed to do.
But running a French business from the UK has its frustrations.
Everything in France is quite different to the English way of doing things. What might be logical and feel quite sensible in the UK is very different in France. I'm not used to dealing with French authorities. I'm not used to the way that French banks operate.
Oh, offices are now closed. Monday to Friday, 9 to 12:30.
No!
Ah, the joys of French life. We know it well. Once a year, the sisters, their families and mum, Cleone, take a trip to open up the chateau for the new holiday season, after being shut up for the long winter months.
Maybe a lot of people think of having a chateau as a dream, a place they can go on holiday and relax and drink a glass of wine, watch the sun go down.
There's always issues and there's always a problem.
Have you got the passport?
There's always something that needs to be doing.
It's a 12-hour trip to the Loire Valley, and they have no idea what will be lying in store for them when they arrive. Back at Tanith and Clive's Chateau Hotel in Burgundy, it's the morning after Clive's successful open day. And even though it's only 7:30 a.m, he's already focused on his next project.
Well, we got a delivery from Greece with a statue from Paul Day, and we've taken away the 3 bull statues, and we've got a truck arriving to pick them up, and we've managed to get it all in the same time. The 2 trucks hopefully will arriving at 8 o'clock this morning, and our local farmer, Alexander, with his Manitou, to lift them up because they're heavy, very heavy.
He's not wrong. They weigh in at nearly 3/4 of a ton each. But it's not the sculptures that Clive's worried about.
These truck drivers don't respect grass or lawns, and they drive over anything, and I don't want any damage today.
By 8:10, there's no sign of truck, forklift, or even his friend Paul.
So I'm the first one. Waiting for 2 trucks and an artist. Oh well.
20 minutes later...
It's a truck arriving. It's a flatbed low loader. So this is for the bulls.
The bulls are being taken 30 miles away to be exhibited in the town of Beaune.
Peut-être poser le camion ici?
On va voir avec lui, on va attendre.
Oui, just, okay.
Clive's friend Paul, the sculptor, is the next to arrive.
What's the grass? I'm only kidding. How you doing? All right.
With a combined value of nearly £1 million, it's going to be a delicate operation.
Bonjour, ça va?
Yeah. Peut-être les lever d'un côté,
Un petit peu, voilà, sans
par en
dessus,
dessous,
ouais.
et puis les lever de l'autre côté, pour pouvoir avoir accès à un quart d'heure. Donc,
Ouais, bah c'est bon.
Forklift driver Alexander seems confident enough.
Attention.
Clive's not going to be too pleased with that.
Attention mes bronzes, Alexandre.
And artist Paul isn't happy either, stepping in to suggest a more delicate approach.
We're just putting 2 straps around the front and rear end of the sculpture so that we can then run a strap through the middle probably and hook it up onto the forks, and then we'll just pick it up and drop it onto the back of the lorry.
The straps have worked a treat, and after just 15 minutes, the biggest of the 3 bulls is safely loaded onto the truck. But not everything has survived intact.
It's what's expected. We've got to do it another 2 times, you see, so for mummy and baby. So once he's done it, I'll come out. But when we installed it, it took about 2 weeks for the tracks to go. So it's what happens.
Before herding the other 2 beasts, it's time for a coffee break.
Café American en anglais. We have a mug, but over here they drink it espresso, don't they? So they like a little coffee.
But there's still no sign of Paul's new sculpture that's arriving to replace the bulls.
Off-road transporters.
It's being transported via international haulage from Greece, where it was last exhibited. It was due to arrive more than an hour ago.
10 minutes, c'est parfait. He doesn't speak French or English, so that's why he's struggling to find his way.
It's no surprise Paul's getting nervous. That's nearly £500,000 worth of sculpture that's currently lost in Europe.
Hello, Paul Day, we still have no lorry.
Back in the Pays de la Loire, it's crunch time for Gwendolyn and fiancé Billy. With 30 years of bird's nest removed from the chimney, they're about to see if their old wood burner is in working order.
So we've got to go and find some dry wood in the forest that's already been cut up.
In charge of wood collection is Billy's brother Michael. And when your back garden's about the same size as 50 football pitches, you don't want to be travelling on foot if you need to get anything done.
It's really good to have this buggy, actually, because, you know, if you need to go and get something quickly, you can just hop on it and go for a drive. There's about 60 acres of land here. Half of that's forest, which is great because, you know, if we need logs to keep the log burner going, once we've got enough logs to keep the thing going, we'll be able to heat the chateau for free, basically. The old caretaker that used to work here for the previous owners, he did a lot of work clearing the forest. I'm just going to go and have a look and see if there's any dry ones. They're huge logs. That one looks good.
When it comes to using wood for fuel, you can't just chop down a tree and burn it straight away. Sawn timber like this needs to sit for about 2 years to dry out before it's seasoned and can burn efficiently. Luckily for them, this stuff looks the business.
That one seems dry. Oh. I forgot to strap them on. Oh, God. I need to wake up, I think.
While Michael struggles with the logs, Billy's getting himself a practical crash course in the chateau's heating system.
Well, the hot water comes out of the top of it, because obviously the heat rises, so the cold water is fed into the bottom of it, and there's 2 valves, and they're both turned off.
Yep, you've got to turn both those on, otherwise there's nothing getting in or out.
Michael, are you there? Are you all right? Yep, we're ready to put some wood in it. I've just given it a bit of a once-over, and it's quite clean inside. I've turned the valves on the back, so we're ready to go. Yeah, right, I'll bring them all back now, then. All right, then, cheers.
Well, I'm quite excited to try the wood burner, because if it works, it really means that we can save money, and that this is money that we can put towards the renovation.
It could be a massive potential saving of up to £1,000 a month compared to using an oil-fired heater.
Heat to a good fire is a nice bit of dry wood. It's the most economical way to keep the place heated.
The moment of truth has finally arrived.
Do you want to light it? Yeah. Let's have a go. Do you want me to turn this on? Yeah, just turn it on to get a draft through quickly. That's it. It's drawing. It's not smoking at all, is it?
It's a good sign, because there is smoke, but I'm not sure the smoke is supposed to come out of the sides of the chimney. Isn't it supposed to come out of the top? Not sure about that.
Look. But it's not supposed to be coming out the sides, is it?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
I wonder why it's doing that.
So the old wood burner's fine. It's the even older chimney that's not. If they're lucky, it'll just be a few holes that need plugging with a few quid spent on some cement. If they're not, it could mean lining the chimney, and that's going to cost a whole lot more.
We have a loan to pay back,
Yeah.
and we need to make money out of this place.
It's really slow progress.
We just need to keep pushing.
Back in Burgundy, at the Cummings' former Abbey cum luxury hotel, there's also a worry for Clive and artist Paul. The £500,000 sculpture they've been waiting for...
Hello?
...is now more than 2 hours late.
The truck is there.
Are you sure?
Yes, the truck is there.
Just arrived.
Just arrived, okay.
I don't know. I'll go and have a look. OK, thank you. We'll go and have a look.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
The driver's driven 2,000 miles through 8 countries, all the way from Athens.
Kalimera. Hi. Hi. OK? OK. Oh, yeah.
So I think he can be forgiven for being a little late.
That's the plaster in 3 pieces.
Yeah, and this one's... Yeah.
And there's the bronze.
OK, that's useful.
Oh, that's a lot easier to...
Yeah, just forklift.
Yeah. So far, so good. One set of statues out and the new set of statues in. So, it's all a bit of fun. Right. Here we go, Formula 1, Formula Golf buggy. And we're taking over. No, we're not. We're going to die. I've run out of juice. Look. I think you're going to have to jump off, Paul, yeah. Push! Come on, Paul, get behind it.
Paul's most well-known sculpture is a bronze that stands 9 metres tall at the Eurostar terminal in London, titled The Meeting Place. The one he's putting on display at the Abbey today is a smaller version of that piece.
But I've twice tried to stop sculptures with my toe and broken the toe both times.
I can take my hat off and stunning, absolutely stunning. Very happy.
Good location.
What a clever man you are, eh?
Excellent.
240 miles west in the Loire Valley, Marion and her family are arriving at their chateau after 12 hours travelling by car and ferry.
Tree in the way, Dad. It's a big whooper.
Oh, dear.
They're here to get the place shipshape for the holiday season, starting in 3 days' time. They were last here 6 months ago, when they closed the chateau down at the end of last season. They're hoping that there won't be too much winter damage to deal with.
Here we are. Hello.
All right. Oh, let's get Pepper out.
Whoa,
OK, do you want me to just, like, open up them? I'm hoping it's in quite a good state.
It's not too bad, actually. Usually it's quite musty.
Oh, I quite fancy a drink.
It's not time to crack open that bottle just yet. Let the inspection begin.
If you start looking around, you'll never stop, and there's heaps of work. Yeah, you could be here the whole time. OK, let's have a look at this.
As husband John and the boys clear the driveway of trees and branches that have come down over the winter, Marion's dealing with some very unwelcome guests. An invasion of flies.
We've got a constant problem with flies, so I need to make sure that the fly treatment people come out. So we get this treatment done twice a year and kills all the flies.
These flies are known as cluster flies, and we know them well. All big rural buildings are plagued with them. One way to get rid of them, a good dose of insecticidal spray.
The smoke alarm?
Yeah, do we know how to...
Yep, insecticidal spray can set off your smoke alarms. Still, good to see they work.
So it was set off, which is great. That's the first time I've known it work. So that was good. And I know, at least we know it works, so it's brilliant.
It's going to be non-stop work over the next few days to get the chateau ready for the new season. The filthy pool needs cleaning, and there are yet more flies. Next time, Sister Tanya and the rest of the family arrive to help set up. But tensions are running high.
John.
You're not listening?
No, I'm not listening.
The whole pool is leaking.
It's not leaking. It's there, so it's water.
Billy reaches new heights as he attempts to fix the holes in his chimney.
I'm absolutely terrified.
And Tanith and Clive are feeling low when it comes to a blockage in their medieval drain.
Well, come down and have a look.
No, thanks.
Whew.